All right. So I was reading through, like I told you before, the second book of Esdras. And this is why, again, the Apocrypha is even used in the New Testament. Right. Now, it starts in the first chapter anyway, verse 27. Ye have not, as it were, forsaken me, but your own selves, saith the Lord. Thus saith the Almighty Lord, have I not prayed you as a father his son and an end? Right? Or again, sons as a mother her daughters. Who's speaking here? The Lord, the Lord. And a nurse her young babe. Sorry. Because again, the Lord has seen a rest to nurse you and is also circumcised the eighth day to be your father. You don't get that, do you? He's one. You're two from that you would be my people, and I should be your God. That you would be my children, and I should be your father. I gather you together as a hen gathers her chickens under her wings. Well, didn't Jesus quote this? Right. Your new moons and your circumcisions have I forsaken, right? Because see, what good does it if I try to tell you I'm coming in the flesh and you don't believe me, right? As Jesus Christ, right? That's the Hebrew problem with Jesus being the Messiah. They don't understand. God is the God of all flesh. Nothing is too hard for it. And they're hearing Moses wrong. I know they are. And they're hearing the hermaphrodite as being the adulterous image or the idol image when that's the image of the male or female without acknowledging the hermaphrodite first, right? If I'm both, right? And you're both from me, I'm greater than you both. That's why Constantine messed it up for you men, right? I know. Right. He couldn't understand it either, for he thinks more like the devil than the sons of God, right? Now, are they trying to tell you? Yes. But this is something that the Greeks get wrong, because their hermaphrodite has testicles, right? A true one does not, right? Their transgendered person, right, is what that is, right? A transgender person has the traits of a male and female, right? As hermaphroditus does, right? He has testicles still, right? So he's not truly androgynous, right? A truly androgynous person has a vagina underneath, right? And I've seen them in action, right? In porn, right? Which is the only place you can see one in real life, in action, right? And how they work similarly to both of us, right? And can be both father and mother sexually and reproductively, right? I know. That's another thing you men don't want to hear, right, from God, right? Why are you espoused to Christ by Paul anyway? He's male enough for your wife and female enough for the male, right? But when you go to Satan, he teaches you adultery, right? Fornication, right? Against your true wife. Now, I forgive sex if I have it. But if I don't as well. Now, if I don't know what's going on, right? I don't know what happened, right? Either. But I am looking, right? Like, Sue came by today and she was with me for 3 hours, right? And I slept after I brought Sarah home. And Sue helped clean the house. You can see a difference already, right? So I had the house clean, obviously, right? A little bit, a little bit. But the problem ain't me keeping the house clean. The problem is I got home and went to sleep, right? That's when something might could have happened, right? Not before, right? If something happened or not, right? Now, I also, like I said, I'm not normally up doing all that, right? So, of course, I'm trying to stay awake during it, but I managed to make the whole trip without no problems, right? No accidents, right? True. Even though normally I'd be resting during this time too, right? Because I try to get up periodically throughout the day, right? I get up somewhere between 7 to 9 and then lay down again, right? From 9 to like 11, right? And then I'm up from 11 to about no afternoon, right? Right. And then, or 1, and then lay down from 2 to almost 4, right? And that's because of the arthritic pain, right? And then again, I do it from 4 to 6, and then about 6 to 7 or 7:30 sometimes, and I'll watch Wheel of Fortune either in the bedroom or come in here, and I can vary it from day to day, it can be 6 or to 8, or right, then 8 to 10, and then 10 to 12, and then 12 to 2, and then right. Whichever way, first 2, right. I can even sleep in until almost 10 or 11 sometimes, right? Because again, of the pain, right? I'm feeling in the morning, right? And, Mom paid Sue $30 for $10 an hour, right? And gave me 5 to help a little bit with gas, right? Right. But again, oh no. See, I'm starting to see men have been lying to me about the Bible, lying to me about the Apocrypha, and telling me lies, right? They're lying to me about premarital sex. They're lying to you about it too, right? Moses didn't say you couldn't do it. He says if you do it, and the girl's unbetrothed, you either go to her father or you ask her personally to marry you, right? Well, what does that mean? Well, if she's 16, right, and she chooses to sleep with you because she can't get legally married until she's 18, right, but can consent to sex, that's legal. That's legal. It's not a crime. I know it's not. Not that I go after 60-year-olds. I keep telling you that too. That's just the law of consent in Georgia, right? Right. It's not that I'm not sure who I was with either, right? That's part of it too, right? Molly was about 16, right? When we were in the house together too, right? But like I said, right, I didn't know everything I know now that I knew then, right? I learned all this too by reading the whole Bible, right? And now I'm insane, right? You're insane. Now we say the prophets are all mad, right? Because they're telling you God is both, right? He's a hermaphrodite in our human understanding of what he truly is, right? And you weren't told that. That's another thing. They shall consider what they have not been told, right? About God, right? Who do you think that's talking about? Jesus too. Jesus too. If you got paps in Revelations, right? And are circumcised in Luke, right? And yet, how does he know about a girdle about the paps, right? John himself, well, he leaned on Jesus' bosom, thanking them stethos, right? But they were really mastoids with a girdle or belt around them, right? That's why you're being blinded by Christians today who think they're rich, which is what they replaced the word with for Chad in Isaiah 60:16, right? They replace it with riches, right, in the Greek instead of mastoi, right, which is what it really means, which is what Luke used, right, when speaking of Jesus, right, being nursed by Mary, right? Yeah, no. And the woman who said, "Blessed are the paps that you have sucked, and the womb that bore you," right? But then Jesus countermands that. No, the days will come when you will say, "Blessed are the wombs that never bore, and the paps that never gave suck." Again, rebelling from God to destroy your own planet he put you on, right? Can he make another? Yeah, even the same one. As new. As new. World without end, said Isaiah. Earth without end. Earth without end. But you play God. By the time we get here, we don't even know who we are anymore. I know. That's how badly the tribulation is. We think we're in, right? We don't know who we are. We don't know what God even is. And we're so letting Satan lie to us that he's male. When he's not male or female, right? And confuse us all. But he can become all three. You can't, right? And I don't know if it works individually within the body, right? Could he be a woman one minute, a hermaphrodite the other, and a male the next? Probably. He's God, right? You can't do that. You're not one with God, right? You're doing something for your sake, selfishly, right? And it knows it, and you should know it, right? You're doing it to promote one over the other as well. When they're both one in Christ Jesus, right? If you're rich or poor here, right? The rich are trying to dominate the poor and keep the poor poor and the rich rich, right? That's again usurping authority, right? You're taking from one man's hand to feed your own self more than you need, right? That's always a sin. It's the sin of greed, right? The rich man would not even help Lazarus laying outside his gate, right? And when he died, he awoke in hell, Trump. Men who follow such men, right? Who will not help the bum on the city street, right? Begging for a meal, right? I could be there. I could be there. I'm just using the best I can, what I got, right? But they're strict on the laws, too. I can't get food stamps because technically I make too much money. But at the same time, right, I can only put the money on credit cards, right? Which I still got to pay back the credit cards, right? See, the credit cards are at their max. Which really means I'm not able to pay them off yet, right? Because I'm using them for food, idiot. Or I'm trying to get food stamps, but no, I'm making too much money, so I try to use one or the other to get it, right? Like, I'll use the lower amount I get from one or the other, right? And then try to get it, right? Whatever I'm rated at. And it's 0 to 100%. Some of it is 10%, some 100%. But what does that mean, right? So you can only be 100% disabled with the Navy, right? Which, that don't make sense. That's a way, again, to pay me less money if I'm injured a lot in the military, right? If you pay me for mental and I'm physically disabled, that makes me 200 in whatever percentage I am, right? Because I'm not just mentally incapable of finding work, I'm physically incapable of doing the job anymore. And once you fail, I look up in the ER. Whatever happened, right? After I let go of the roof, I blacked out and woke up in the ER. And that's all I remember, right? So, like the car wreck, where, boom, I'm in and out the hospital 2 days. I wake up the same night in the ER. You know what I mean? And again, I would tell them the same thing. I would tell the shipmates the same thing, right? Even if they were to try to throw me overboard, co-red me. I don't know if they did now. I can't prove they did because, again, they're tempting God, not me. I don't know if they are. I don't tempt the Lord my God. I'm just trying to find a girlfriend or a wife, right? Whatever that means to the ladies. Exactly. Bye.